What's good, everybody? We are back. It is I, or Expert, and today Tower of Charge just came out. Came out the day of me recording this. This will be uploaded Wednesday. So yeah, you might already have this done. Who knows? But a lot of people probably need struggles or have struggles with this. And you know, I'm the Tower of God man over here. I said Tower of God, didn't I? I'm the Tower of Trials guy over here, and I'm gonna give you the actual gimmick of these floors. Multiple teams, just in case you don't have this one very weirdly specific team to beat this with. And I'm going to actually explain how these fights work as I do them. So, I already completed 25, 26, 27. They're really simple. The hardest one would probably be 26, I guess. Because if you just don't have characters, I assume, then it could be a problem. But that's all right. We good. We're gonna explain this nice, in depth, and in detail for all y'all out there that came to my channel to watch my Tower Chart videos. Because usually they do really good, because I know how to explain stuff. Unlike these other big YouTubers and content creators that do this, they don't give you all the details. They'll show you one team and then you just roll with it. But that one team doesn't work for everybody. So now we're gonna be here where y'all need to be to watch Tower of Charles content. So let's go ahead and head into floor 25. Now for floor 25, I'm going to be using this team. I'm not going to go into detail why as of yet. I'll save that for when I'm talking about the teams you can use for floor 25. But for now, we're just going to run it with this team. And I'll talk about this one specifically as we go through. But after this, I will actually explain why. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Okay. No, so I'll actually explain why these teams are actually really good. In terms of, okay, so for 425 specifically, I've seen content creators for this floor have some very weird teams. I'm gonna be real with you. Some of them are just outright stupid, but the other ones are just like, I guess. It works, right? But again, they're showing one team, they're not showing multiple teams. Okay, chill, auto. Well, I gotta restart. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck auto happens sometimes when I start the game up. Like when I load my game up and I start a mission, it's just automatically on auto, and it's so weird. But yeah, these content creators are showing you one team to use, and not everyone has those units. So it's just how it is, unfortunately. But me, I'm the guy you want to come to for Tower of Tower, because I can show you at least 5 different teams for each of these tower trials, and I can actually explain how they work. So with this one specifically, this is probably one of the fun routes to go because no one actually has Demon Chandler, right? But this team is specifically fun just because of Chandler and because Green Giant DN, or Green Small DN, I guess. It doesn't really matter who you target here. The only strat is, so I didn't even explain, right? The gimmick is that you, as long as you have Ludosio buff, or yeah, the little passive buff he has, as long as that's on your character, you're gonna hit for patience. Unless you have like crazy crit chance, then you might be able to hit him for 200 maybe. That's what my DN is for. We'll get to that in a second. But as long as you have these defense downs, you cannot do damage at all. So you have to have a healer and a tank. So I'm using Magelda because her heal is really good and she can rejuvenate at the same time. Now, we're gonna pop the heal. Like this, with this team specifically, you will always want to pop the heal, pop the taunt, and then just waste cards at this point. The only cards that are worth it until the debuff goes away is your heals, your taunts, and level 2 DN. Why am I saying level 2 DN's attacks specifically? It's because her level 2s can hit if they crit, and I have DN's Holy Relic. So, meaning, if she crits, I get a really good heal out of it. So, like, if I was in a basket, that's also why I'm not running Tarmiel on my DN. So, like, let's just heal up again, and then merge these. It'd be better for me to save them, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so another thing about this gimmick that I've heard nobody talk about, except for they'll have like a snippet of them saying something about this gimmick. The other part of this gimmick is not only can you not do damage until the debuff is gone, you also get put in a predicament where, this is why the healer is necessary, by the way. If the debuff is gone and you have less than 70% of your max HP, you do not get the 1000% pierce buff. Like, it's very weird. So let me say that again, because I feel like I just haven't said the gimmick fully, right? So the actual full gimmick, let me just merge these. Attack, because that's going to crit and I'm going to heal, and then waste this. But yes, the actual full gimmick is, for the first 4 turns, oh, I missed the crit, that's unfortunate. For the first 4 turns, you cannot do damage. You patience. And once the debuff is gone, if you have more than 70% health, you get a 1000% pierce increase. That is the gimmick of floor 25. Not just survive 4 turns and you win. No, you actually have to have enough health to get the passive to proc. Like, for instance, my Deanne is taking a lot of damage, right? She has less than 70% HP. The debuffs are gone. And once we check, right, you see she doesn't have the pierce buff. She doesn't have the pierce buff. But Chandler does. Chandler has the 1000% pierce buff. That's why I gave him Tarmio, just to make sure he has the 70% HP before the start of your turn. So now that I have this, I can do this. Chandler's the only one I can do damage because apparently my Magelda didn't get the passive for some reason. Excuse me. So we're going to heal up for just because, and then we're going to do 2 AoEs. And AoEs do the pierce, triple pierce. That's 3000% pierce for whatever fucking reason. And it just does this. 1.3 mil. And then I hit again. Killed the side units. Beautiful. I couldn't kill Ludociel, but it's fine. I don't think he's attacking this turn, is he? Or he's probably attacking one time. So yeah, now that my characters have 70% HP, I think it procced for Deanne. Okay, it didn't proc for Deanne yet, but it proc for Magelda. So the actual healing from Liz in the back isn't gonna count. You have to have 70% when your turn starts, not from the passive heals. So yeah, now that Magelda has it, Magelda can do damage. And yeah, this is just how it works. I don't know why people aren't specifying that you need to have 70% HP. And then, so now people are going into this thinking that as long as they survive, they're good. But when the debuff is gone, they see that their character doesn't have the pierce buff. And they're just like, what happened? Why do I have the pierce? Yeah, you need to have 70% life or more. Otherwise, you don't get the pierce buff. So that's just the floor 25. Just that with that team specifically, if you want to run it, if you pull Chandler, go for it. But now, this is where we're going to talk a little bit about some creators out there, okay? Just bear with me. But let's go hop to the teams that I've personally beat 25 with. Yeah, let's go look at those teams. Now, these are the teams that I've beaten floor 25 with. The first one obviously being the Deanne, Magelda, Chandler team. And that team that I used for the Chandler does not work if you don't have Tarmio on Chandler. Because Chandler he just takes a lot of damage for whatever reason. Probably because he's a green unit, I guess. But it's just weird. I don't get it. I guess it's because my gear is probably a little weird, so they just have priority mixings or some shit. But yeah, that's why you don't need Tarmio Grace on your taunt unit. I will tell you this now. Because he's not going to be doing damage anyway. She just needs to taunt for 4 turns and you're good. So besides the first team being Deanne, Magelda, Chandler, right? The other teams you can use... Okay, before I even get into the teams, right? All of these taunt units, Green Deanne, Festival Deanne, Excalibur Arthur, and Red Matrona, they are all interchangeable between these teams. So you can run any of these Pierce units with any of these taunt units. But I will say, the best taunt unit to run on floor 25 would be either Green Small Deanne, because A, she taunts turn 1 of their turn, so you don't have to worry about like turn 1 of their turn, your blue unit dying, which would be Magelda, which we'll get to that in a second. But I would recommend you use Green Small Deanne, but if you don't have her built, I guess you can use Excalibur Arthur. You just have to put Tarmio Grace on Magelda. And so, with a quick editor's note while this is going down. I don't know what happened to my recording. it just cut at this point for some reason. So I'm just gonna explain this now. There's a little quick explanation. What I was going to say after this is that the pierce rate unit does not matter. You can use whatever pierce rate unit you want. They're all viable to be used. Jesus Christ, they're all viable to be used in floor 25. It does not matter as long as you have a Magelda and a taunt unit. You can use whatever pierce unit you want. Yeah. Back to the video. Now heading into floor 26. The gimmick, again, this is one of those gimmicks that no one's fully explaining. Better yet, they are fully explaining it, right? But they're just not telling you that it's a lot easier than it sounds. So, the gimmick of floor 26 is that you don't want to crit the units. Otherwise, whoever you're critting is going to get a 100% damage, or not damage. They're going to get 100% stats increase, all stats. And at that point, you're just kind of fucked. But there's a way to get around that using Green Sario. If you have a level 3 counter and you crit, you're probably gonna kill. Because for some reason, his level 3 counter hits very hard. Sometimes it's not very reliable though, so you can't rely on it. But it's more or less like, if they have less than 40% HP, a level 3 counter that crits from Sario is 9 times out of 10 gonna kill. And like the crits aren't that scared to beat. The crits in general are not that scary. Because after this first turn, initial turn, there's going to be one unit that doesn't attack, and you can waste your cards that are like potential to crit on that unit that's not attacking, and you won't be penalized for it because the buff only lasts for 1 turn. Or at least, if it lasts for 2, it's not going to be like hurtful. So with this team I'm going to rank up Sario, go for the AoE, and then just single target the Deanne actually. Because I want to get Deanne out of here as soon as possible, due to her being like the reason you don't get ult. At the same time, it's not gonna hurt you going for other units. Like in reality, you don't even have to target anybody. Okay, that's a nice hand. I can use 3 cleave cards in a turn. So in reality, I'll still probably use 2 and waste the card on whoever's not attacking though. That's probably the better option, just in case I get cucked in RNG. Okay, they're all attacking. Never mind, then I'll just waste all my cleave cards. Let's do the cleave, into the cleave, into the cleave. And get the end low a little bit. Now at this point, this is like the point of the game where you can actually use a level 3 Sario and just wipe their existence. But at the same time, you don't want to get caught in the Deanne stance. Yeah, that ability right there, that cancels stances. So it gets kind of rough if she wants to spam that sometime. Okay, let's rank up. I can technically kill both of them with 1 card. So let's do this. This is killing. This might not kill. And then we're gonna cleave him. That kills. Didn't have to worry about the crit, which is nice. That crit him, but it's fine because he's dead. And then there's Deanne. She's getting lowered. Or lower HP. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do, just to try to like get a crit off. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, because there's no telling if she's just gonna remove my fucking stance or not. But we're going to AoE level 1, rank up Sario, and just in case, or just so you know, she has 170,000 HP right now. Her max HP is 591. So, hopefully the AoE doesn't kill, which it shouldn't. Now, we're gonna taunt with you, and if he crits, this is just stupid, and dead. 461,000. That's almost her full health. So you could potentially one-shot her at around like 80%, 70% HP. And you crit, by the way. But no one seems to think that that's possible for some reason. Because, again, these units have very low crit resistance. That's why you can crit them like fairly easily with like units that doesn't have a lot of crit chance. But with Sario's crits, It does damage, like weird damage. It's fun. It's nutty. Love it. So yeah, if you have a green Sario, bro, you don't have to be scared of crits. You can one-shot their entire team with a level 3 counter if you crit every single hit. Like, it's not bad at all. So don't get scared of the crits at all. Don't be that guy. But that's done. So let's go ahead and look at the 3 teams I've beaten this floor with. Yeah, let's go do that. And this is where this picture is going to showcase. This is the teams I've been using to beat it with. They're all like different cleave characters. So like the first one, obviously, is the one I showcased in the video. And let's talk about the last one before I go to the Esterosa team, right? The Freyr and Deanne team is very good but it takes it takes a very long time to pull this team off at the bottom. Freyr, Gothard, Deanne. It's only because you only have one cleave card, and the RNG sometimes will cuck you very hard, right? So you really don't want to go into 426 with just one cleave character, or you're just gonna have a very long time. But the Assault Esterosa team, now that's just funny. Like, if y'all want to see me use this team, I'll make a video just using this team just to show y'all how it's done. But the way this team works is you want to get as many cleave cards as possible and stack darknesses. Because once you have max dark stacks, you do not encroach, but the darkness is enough to lower the damage they deal to the point where, like, even if you give them the buff, you take very minuscule damage compared to if you do give them a buff without darkness. Like, I've done it, and I never dropped below 50% HP with this team. It was insane. Not to mention, if you have 5 darkness stacks, your level 3 Esterosa can one-shot Deanne, or the Sever Point card, whatever the fuck's called, Concrete Point. I don't know, man. I'm just making up words at this point. But yeah, as you can see, like, just the background of this being the black one, which means like I beat it in the stage. Like, it's very funny how this works, but it works. I beat it fairly easily. I thought it was gonna be a lot harder. I guess it was mainly RNG based too, because you really do want to get your cleave cards every turn, kind of thing. But again, you have 2 cleave card characters, so that shouldn't be a huge problem. At the very least, you probably have to do it like 2, maybe 3 tries before you get like really good RNG in order to pull like a cleave card every turn. But these are the 3 teams I was able to beat this with. In terms of the other cleave characters, like Trader Meliodas, you can't use him because your ult rush doesn't work. And like, that's about it, right? I don't remember any other cleave characters. So, yeah. That's 426. So let's move on to 427. So now going into 427. This is probably the easiest one of the 3, because you literally just got to sit there and do nothing. So the gimmick of 427 is really straightforward. You can only use stance cards. And every time you use a stance card, it'll proc corrosion on the enemies. And no, you cannot stack corrosion, so there's only 1 proc of corrosion. So minimum, you have to do 4 turns, I think. So that's why you can just straight up run a full stance team and not get hindered by it. As long as you have a stance available, you will be completely fine. And that's what I'm about to show you, because it's very fucking easy. There's literally nothing to it. You just stance, and as long as you have another stance, you win. And the thing is, I've heard a lot of people, again, this is one of those bigger YouTuber things for some fucking reason. I don't know what's going on. But I've heard everyone say that you can't do damage to them because like they're hitting for patience and you're hitting for patience most of the time because Valenti. No, it's not the case. Because you can hit them with counters. You can literally use Sario, Terry. This is like probably the best counter team they run. You can use Terry, Sario, and Arthur. Arthur has to be the last taunt because you want to drain those ults. But I don't think you can, actually. I think I tried it before and I wasn't able to drain it, but we can try now. But if we do... let's actually, no. Let's save his ult. Let's just waste these cards. Because you always want to at least have 1 stance for the next turn or you're just kind of fucked. But like, people have been saying, oh yeah, if you counter, you hit for patience. That's not true. You hit numbers like 2K. It's not the best thing ever, but you can hit. And then also, if you have 2 stacks of Terry's passive, Terry can hit for pretty decent numbers, like 40K, close to. At least mine, because I don't have them completely built. Like, you can hit him for a little bit, which will, like, speed up the corrosion process at the very least. But, like, see, it's not bad at all. And you don't get nerfed for hitting them. You just get lucky at that point. But yeah, this is literally the entire game. Just correct shoot and whatever the fuck that man just said to me. Their turns are very long. They have like so many cards to go through. 5. Like, and their animations are just weirdly long. So yeah, this is their issue. I should have probably taunted with Arthur. Now he has an ult. But it's okay. It'll be okay, I think. So let me do this. The ult first, though. The ult doesn't hurt you, though. It doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't hit hard at all. So, okay, his ult does get drained. Cool. So if you wanted to, you could just run Arthur and just drain their ults. If the damage from their ults actually do damage somehow. But yeah, this is probably like the least fun one. So you're just sitting here while you let the game do its thing. Like easily 425 is probably the funnest one because there's just so many teams you can run it with. And so many viable options. But like this way is just, you're sitting here, you have to wait like 30 seconds for their animations to go through for all 5 cards. Like this is so fun. But regardless, it's easy, and it's easy rewards. I don't think I talked about the rewards before, but the first 425 you get cosmetic rewards, or like cosmetic upgrades. 426 you get gems, and 427 I don't remember. I'll have to look. But as you can see, this is very exhilarating content. Yeah, it just stands up and, like, yeah, kill eventually. So what was that, 3 turns? I think that was 3 turns. The longest 3 turns I've ever taken, but yeah. He had for patience this time. That's first. I am a tech lord, so I guess that makes sense. She healed? The hell? Did the corrosion even proc? I'm confusion. Okay. Well, West Sile's taking a lot of damage, actually. And, yeah, she's dead. Woo! Such exhilarating content. It makes me feel so good about myself. But, anyways, let's go get to the teams. Just, like, I don't know why you wouldn't have this team, but let's just go talk about them. Yeah. So when we're talking about teams you can run, it's pretty straightforward. As long as you have a unit that can stance, he's good for this, basically. Like, you don't need to do damage. They just need to survive, I guess, but they don't do damage either. So you literally just sit there with any 3 stance characters you want and exist. So you can alternate between any of these. I would say the only mandatory stance unit would be Arthur due to the ult, or for the ult drain, I guess. But other than that, yeah, you can run whoever you want. It's very easy. So yeah, that is going to be Tower of Trials. Let me just head back into it just to make sure I was correct about the rewards. Yeah, 25 is Awakening Things, 26 is Gems, 27 is or Hammers. Okay. That's not bad. But yeah, easy 3 stages, like probably one of the easier ones we've gotten recently. So this shouldn't be that complicated for the people. And I hope y'all enjoyed the actual in-depth explanations and the multiple teams you can use. I'll try to do that format for the rest of of time. Whenever tower things come out, I will actually make a little infographic for the teams you can use instead of me talking about them, because that just feels way simpler to me, and it also shaved off a lot of time. So, with that out of the way, it's been your boy Our Expert, and it's been a pleasure telling y'all how Tower of Trials work. But unfortunately, this video has to come to an end. So like, subscribe, comment down below what y'all want to see from me in terms of like anything wacky, anything, bro. Like, have you seen the last PvP video I did? I'm just saying, bro. Part two. But that'll be all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.